Wagwan guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I cannot complain myself. Interesting video I have here for you guys today, and it is Wallow. He is in the media. I think it went viral. He went viral for this earlier during the week, and a lot of people reacted to it a few days ago. And it's interesting because the things that he was saying, it has some truth sprinkled in there, but not entirely. You know, I can really get into it, but I don't want to like nitpick things and pull things apart. But to give an overall view of it, before I play the video for you guys, yes, you want to have, nice restaurants or a nice business, cleanliness, things of that nature. However, I feel like he was kind of holding black businesses to a higher standard, which there's nothing wrong with being held to a higher standard, right? And not everyone is going to be successful that was in that room, which is true. Does not mean that could be like fact, right? Just basically statistics. Not every black business is going to succeed. Not every business is going to succeed, right? But possibly every business in that room could succeed. Yes, that is a possibility, right? But it's also possible that the other could be true, right? And I'm going to say this really quickly. Like, yes, me personally, if it's a black owned business, I'm definitely looking for a black owned business. Overall, does that mean like I'm going to like jump over a good business that serves good food just because they're not black owned? No, I'm probably not going to do that. If I like what's there, then yeah, I'm going to eat there. However, I will say this, well, really quick, let me just play the video. And this is what everyone was kind of critiquing.
Us. Oh, I'm black. Oh, black people. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit. Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. Fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them deals where the fuck I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the number one nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto.
So, just a few things really quickly. He was coming down hard. And I feel like what he did was he just hit the spirit. So basically it was like, he's there, he's giving a motivational speech. People can say a lot of different things about that. Most of that stuff like kind of stays in-house. If you're trying to be motivational and, they're paying you for this event, or if it was just an event that was connected to a prior engagement that you weren't getting paid for this specific event, but, people were there and cameras were out, and what he said, what, I'm just going to hit the spirit on these guys. And and that's basically what he did. And when that happens, most of that like stays in-house, but cameras were there and it ended up getting out. So those things kind of happen, and you're going to have people critique you on how you're coming across, and people can, it's just one of those things. And people can be like highly critical of the things that you do, things that you say when situations like that happen. But yes, of course, people should take pride in, black owned businesses being black. you take pride in things like that. And you know, okay, you can just look at the, you know, the years of subjugation, slavery, 400-year plus of that, redlining, you know, Jim Crow, and just look at all those different things, civil rights. And yeah, I would say that there has been an effort, you know, to keep the success of black people down or to a minimum. Yes, I would say that, right? But having that knowledge, you know what I'm saying? People could say, okay, yeah, then Wallow could have approached this in a different way, but was he wrong for doing it? Hey, that's up for, you know, that's up for conversation. You know, me personally, I think that what he was doing, because Wallow came from, you know, he came from a past where, yeah, he was in prison for a point in time. You know, he definitely was, you know, and now he's creative director for YouTube, and he's, you know, he has $1 million worth of game, that podcast that he does. So I think where he's coming from, not too many people can understand that. So I definitely agree with that, you know. But yeah, of course, I've been in spaces and I've been in rooms where, like, you're definitely going to be held to a higher standard. So you know, it's hard for me to critique that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to do, because I've been in rooms where you're being held to a higher, like, this is the standard. You're being held to a higher standard, and that's the deal. And you know, you could agree with it, right? Or you could not. You could find another, you know, motivational speaker that fits you more, it's to your liking, right? But if you want to be the best, if you want to excel, then you're gonna go to the best conferences. You're gonna go to the best schools. That's just something you're gonna do. You're gonna get taught, right? And just in a little example, you know, you could just learn to be thankful for some things, right? Even if you're not going to be successful, even if you're not going, you know, just learn to be thankful for certain things, right? Like, you know, like I said, I was thankful for my dentist a few videos ago, right? I had to end up getting a consultation at the periodontist because my dentist told me that my gums were, you know, there was some recession in my gums, and that could possibly be where, like, some sensitivity was coming from. I went there because I needed a root canal, and then I ended up getting, like, fillings. I just got a ton of work done. And my dentist, he was a good guy, and he told me, like, you know, hey, you know, most of my clients are kids, you know, and I even knew one of, you know, his clients. I knew him, right? And he said, yeah, most of my clients are kids, and, you know, he worked on him since he was a kid. And so I ended up going to the periodontist, and they were like, dude, no cavities, no recession, everything's good. But he's basically told me, like, that I have big pulps, and that could be like a possibility where my sensitivities is coming from. And basically he did the root canal, but he probably, like, missed, you know, some of the nerve or whatever he's grabbing out of there. So I'm gonna have to go to a what is it called, a root canal specialist, so they can just go in there and get the root out. So, you know, like, yeah, I'm thankful for my dentist, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely thankful for him. But, you know, it's just situations like that, you know, another situation that you can pull from just to be thankful for, right? I've been working out a ton. I just did like 8 miles right now. Just did 8 miles, and I'm dropping some weight, you know. I lost like 30 pounds in 2 weeks, and I, like, completely changed my diet. I I only eat one meal a day. I've been doing that for about like 2 weeks, and I normally do like 4 miles because I used to work at Kroger's, and I think there's this military guy. He came in. He was like in good shape. I was working out at the time, but like if I work out and I lift weights, I normally like I'll bow up and I'll balloon up, and I've always tried to like not bow up so much. Just trying to get slim and slender. So that's why I'm like running more. But he told me, he was still jacked, but he told me, he said he did 16 miles a week for training or whatever. And I was like, well, I need to do 16 miles a week. So that's what I'm doing now, 16 miles a week. And yeah, I feel pretty good. And it's just, you being able to be in spaces where, you could, learn a thing or two. Right. And again, not everyone is going to be successful. I could like nitpick the situation and come down on Wallo and say, oh, well, he's kind of insensitive on some of the things that he was saying about black owned businesses. But to a certain degree, he has an idea, and, he was there at this conference. So, of course, someone wants his input. He was asked to speak and he gave it. So that's what I think about that. And, it's just you figuring out like what works best for you in certain situations. And every situation is not going to be a plus. Every situation is not gonna, be beneficial to you. Every conference, you're not gonna go there and they're not gonna praise you at every single turn. Right? Those are some things that, you get used to it. It can soften you. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand where he's coming from. Like me personally, if I go to a black business, like I'm tipping, definitely tipping. But just because it's a black owned business does not mean like that's going to be like a place that I'm going to continue to go. Like if the food's not good, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? Again, they definitely got the tip. If the service is not good, probably not going to eat there again. Right? Like this one place. And again, love black businesses. I'm definitely looking for a black business, if I'm, to be like, a place that I go, that I can frequent. Right? And like, just for instance, like it's this one black business, and it's like a barbecue spot that I go to. Very good, right? But they don't have a physical location, and they're always jumping around, right? So like I definitely will go because they have good food, but then they're changing their meats up and stuff like that. And it's like I understand that they're growing and they're trying to maybe get a physical location. But like, because of, of some of the things I just mentioned, like I don't frequently go there anymore. The food is good. It's seasoned well, but it's like, I can't, keep going there, and, the food's not good all the time. And, you never know where they're going to be. So it's like, I can understand him in a certain aspect, but then it's just like, well, you hit it kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely hit that crowd hard. You know what I'm saying? He just hit the spirit on them. And like you got a couple people in there that are, they're not going to be able to take, you know what I'm saying? They're not just going to be able to take that. Right. So yeah. And lastly, with the root canal and all that stuff, like, just me saying that story was to say, like, yeah, just be thankful, like, for, to have people that are going to tell you, what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could get upset and I could get mad. Well, I went there and I've already got this procedure done. He charged me for it. But I could be happy. He was up front and he told me like, hey, I don't normally work on kids, but I see this is kind of what's going on with you, and this is where I can help. And he helped. Yeah, maybe I went in there for something, but yeah, I had some other issues, some other cavities. When I went to the periodontist, he told me, you know what? Yeah, your cavities is fixed. Everything's good. You don't have none of that. No recession. but he probably just missed some roots in there, and basically told me he had big pulp. So yeah, I have maybe I have a big pulpa. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But yeah, that's it, guys. But yeah, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hope to see you guys here back again. Peace. I'm out.